the surface of the water. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, so God distinguished the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So there was evening, and there was morning, one day. Then God said, "Let there be an expanse in the midst of the water. Let it be for separating water from water." So God made the expanse, and it separated the water that was below the expanse from the water that was over the expanse. It happened so. God called the expanse sky. So there was evening, and there was morning, a second day. Then God said, "Let the water below the sky be gathered to meet one place. Let the dry ground appear." It happened so. God called the dry ground land, and the collection of water he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the land sprout grass, green plants yielding seed, fruit trees making fruit, each according to its species, with seed in it upon the land." It happened so. The land brought forth grass, green plants yielding seed, trees making fruit with seed in it, and God saw that it was good. So there was evening, and there was morning, a third day. Then God said, "Let lights in the expanse of the sky be for separating the day from the night. They will be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years. They will be for lights in the expanse of the sky to shine upon the land." It happened so. Then God made the two great lights, the greater light for dominion over the day, and the lesser light, as well as the stars for dominion over the night. God set them in the expanse of the sky to shine on the land, and to have dominion over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. So there was evening, and there was morning, a fourth day. Then God said, "Let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures. Let flying creatures fly above the land across the expanse of the sky." Then God created the large sea creatures, and every living creature that crawls with which the water swarms, according to their species, as well as every winged flying creature according to their species. And God saw that it was good. Then God blessed them by saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the water in the seas. Let the flying creatures multiply on the land." So there was evening, and there was morning, a fifth day. Then God said, "Let the land bring forth living creatures according to their species, livestock, crawling creatures, and wild animals." It happened so. God made the wild animals, the livestock, and everything that crawls on the ground, each according to its species. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Let them rule over the fish of the sea, over the flying creatures of the sky, over the livestock, over the whole earth, and over every crawling creature that crawls on the land." blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the land and conquer it, rule over the fish of the sea, the flying creatures of the sky, and over every animal that crawls on the land." Then God said, "I have just given you every green plant yielding seed that is on the surface of the whole land, and every tree which has the fruit of a tree yielding seed. They are to be food for you. For every wild animal, every flying creature of the sky, and every creature that crawls on the land which has life, every green plant is to be food." It happened so. So God saw everything that he made, and behold, it was very good. So there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. So the heavens and the earth were completed along with their entire array. God completed on the seventh day his work that he made, and he ceased on the seventh day from all his work that he made. Then God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, for on it he ceased from all his work that God created for the purpose of preparing. These are the genealogical records of the heavens and the earth when they were created, at the time when Adonai Elohim made land and sky. Now no shrub of the field was in the land yet, and no green plants of the field had sprouted yet, for Adonai Elohim had not caused it to rain upon the land, and there was no one to work the ground. But a mist came up from the land and watered the whole surface of the ground. Then Adonai Elohim formed the man out of the dust from the ground, and he breathed into his nostrils a breath of life. So the man became a living being. Then Adonai Elohim planted a garden in Eden in the east, and there he put the man whom he had formed. Then Adonai Elohim caused to sprout from the ground every tree that was desirable to look at and good for food. Now the tree of life was in the middle of the garden, and also the tree of knowledge of good and evil. A river flowed out of Eden to water the garden. From there it divided and became 4 riverheads. The name of the first is Pishon, the one that winds around the whole land of the Havilah, where there is gold. The gold of that land is good. Bdellium and lapis lazuli stones are also there. The name of the second river is Gihon. It winds around the whole land of Cush. The name of the third river is Tigris. It runs east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. Then Adonai Elohim took the man and gave him the rest in the Garden of Eden in order to cultivate and watch over it. Then Adonai Elohim commanded the man, saying, "From all the trees of the garden you are most welcome to eat. But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you must not eat, for when you eat from it you most assuredly will die." Then Adonai Elohim said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. Let me make a well-matched helper for him." Adonai Elohim had formed from the ground every animal of the field and every flying creature of the sky. So he brought them to the man to see what he would call them. Whatever the man called them, each living creature, that was its name. So the man gave names to all of the livestock, to the flying creatures of the sky, and to all the animals of the field. But for the man, he did not not find a well-matched helper for him. Adonai Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall on the man, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in its place. Adonai Elohim built the rib, which he had taken from the man, into a woman. Then he brought her to the man. Then the man said, "This one, at last, is bone of my bones and flesh from my flesh. This one is called woman, for from man was taken this one. This is why a man leaves his father and his mother and clings to his wife, and they become one flesh. Now both of them were naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. But the serpent was shrewder than any animal of the field that Adonai Elohim made. So it said to the woman, 'Did God really say, you must not eat from all the trees of the garden?' The woman said to the serpent, 'Of the fruit of the trees we may eat, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the middle of the garden, God said, you must not eat of it, and you must not touch it, or you will die.' The serpent said to the woman, 'You most assuredly won't die, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil.' Now the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a thing of lust for the eyes, and that the tree was desirable for imparting wisdom. So she took of its fruit, and she ate. She also gave to her husband who was with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together and made for themselves loin coverings. And they heard the sound of Adonai Elohim going to and fro in the garden in the wind of the day. So the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Adonai Elohim in the midst of the tree of the garden. Then Adonai Elohim called to the man. He said to him, 'Where are you?' Then he said, 'Your sound. I heard it in the garden, and I was afraid. Because I am naked, I hid myself.' Then he said, 'Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree from which I commanded you not to eat?' Then the man said, 'The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate.' Adonai Elohim said to the woman, 'What did you do?' The woman said, 'The serpent deceived me, and I ate.' Adonai Elohim said to the serpent, 'Because you did this, cursed are you above all the livestock and above every animal of the field. On your belly will you go, and dust will eat you all the days of your life. I will put animosity between you and the woman, between your seed and her seed. He will crush your head, and you will crush his heel.' To the woman he said, 'I will greatly increase your pain from conception to labor. In pain will you give birth to children. Your desire will be toward your husband, yet he must rule over you.' Then to the man he said, 'Because you listened to your wife's voice and ate of the tree which I commanded you, saying you must not eat of it, cursed is the ground because of you. With pain you will eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles will sprout for you. You will eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your brow will you eat food, until you return to the ground, since from it you were taken. For you are dust, and to dust will you return.' Now Adam named his wife Eve, because she was the mother of all the living. has become like one of us, knowing good and evil. So now, in case he stretches out his hand and takes also from the tree of life and eats and lives forever, Adonai Elohim sent him away from the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which he had been taken. He expelled the man, and at the east of the Garden of Eden he had cherubim dwell along with the whirling sword of flame to guard the way to the tree of life. This is the book of the genealogies of Adam. When God created Adam in the likeness of God he made him. Male and female he created them, and he blessed them and called their name Adam when he created them. Adam lived 130 years, then fathered a son in his likeness, after his image, and named him Seth. Then the days of Adam after he fathered Seth were 800 years, and he fathered other sons and daughters. So all Adam's days that he lived were 930 years, and then he died. Seth lived 105 years, then fathered Enosh. Seth lived 807 years after he fathered Enosh, and he fathered sons and daughters. All Seth's days were 912 years, and then he died. Enosh lived 90 years, then fathered Kenan. Enosh lived 815 years after he fathered Kenan, and he fathered sons and daughters. So all of Enosh's days were 905 years, then he died. Kenan lived 70 years, then fathered Mahalalel. Kenan lived 840 years after he fathered Mahalalel. He fathered sons and daughters. So all of Kenan's days were 910 years, and then he died. Mahalalel lived 65 years, then fathered Jared. Mahalalel lived 830 years after he fathered Jared, and he fathered sons and daughters. All of Mahalalel's days were 895 years, and then he died. Jared lived 162 years, then fathered Enoch. Jared lived 800 years after he fathered Enoch. He fathered sons and daughters. So all of Jared's days were 962 years, and then he died. Enoch lived 65 years, then fathered Methuselah. Now Enoch walked with God continually for 300 years after he fathered Methuselah, and he fathered sons and daughters. All of Enoch's days were 365 years. Enoch continually walked with God. Then he was not there because God took him. Methuselah lived 187 years and fathered Lamech. And Methuselah lived 782 years after he fathered Lamech. He fathered other sons and daughters. All of Methuselah's days were 969 years, and then he died. Lamech lived 182 years, and he fathered a son. And he named him Noah, saying, "This one will comfort us from our work and from the pain of our hands because of the ground which Adonai cursed." Lamech lived 595 years after he fathered Noah. He fathered sons and daughters. All of Lamech's days were 777 years, and then he died. Noah was 500 years old when he fathered Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now when humankind began to multiply on the face of the ground, and daughters were born to them, then the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were good, and they took for themselves wives, any they chose. Then Adonai said, My spirit will not remain with humankind forever, since they are flesh, so their days will be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, whenever the sons of God came to the daughters of men and gave birth to them. Those were the mighty men of old, men of renown. Then Adonai saw that the wickedness of humankind was great on the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of their heart was only evil at the time. So Adonai regretted that he made humankind on the earth, and his heart was deeply pained. So Adonai said, I will wipe out humankind, whom I have created from the face of the ground, from humankind to livestock, crawling things, and the flying creatures of the sky, because I regret that I made them. But Noah found favor in Adonai's eyes. These are the genealogies of Noah. Noah was a righteous man. He was blameless among his generation. Noah continually walked with God. Noah fathered 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now the earth was ruined before God, and the earth was filled with violence. God saw the earth, and behold, it was ruined, because all flesh had corrupted their way upon the earth. Then God said to Noah, The end of all flesh is coming before me, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. Behold, I am about to bring ruin upon them along with the land. Make for yourself an ark of gopher wood. You shall make the ark with compartments and smear pitch on it, both inside and out. Now this is how you shall make it. The length of the ark, 300 cubits, its breadth 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. You shall make a roof for the ark, and you shall finish it to within a cubit from the top. You shall put the door of the ark in its side. You shall make it with lower, second, and third stories. I am about to bring the flood, water upon the land, to destroy all flesh, in which is the spirit of life from under the sky. Everything that is on the land will perish. But I will establish my covenant with you. So you shall come into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. Also of every living thing, of all flesh, you shall bring 2 of everything, male and female, into the ark to keep alive with you. Of the flying creatures according to their kind, of the livestock according to their kind, of all the crawling creatures of the ground according to their kind, 2 of everything will come to you to keep them alive. As for you, take for yourself every kind of edible food, and gather it to yourself. It will be food for you and for them. So Noah did according to all that God commanded him. He did so exactly.